Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Stretford Paddock for another episode of Paper Talk. And today we are talking a lot about Mauricio Pochettino. It all started last night when he was pictured at the Brentford versus Leeds game with Neil Ashton, the recently hired PR agent of our very favourite Mr. Woodward. And then all the quotes and reports started tumbling out. The main one was from Duncan Castle on his transfer podcast. He said, Mauricio Pochettino has a great interest in being Manchester United manager. He and his people are targeting the job and believe they can convince the Glazers. Ed Woodward is keen and has been keen on Mauricio Pochettino. Conversations have taken place with his representatives. So it's a strange one. This you then go on to Pochettino coming out at that game. Sky Sports interviewed him, and he said, "To be honest, I'd love to work in Premier League. It's going to be difficult, I know, and for now, I have to wait and see what happens. I'm ready and waiting for a new challenge. I have the belief and confidence that the next challenge will be fantastic." It's odd, to be honest, how it all came out of nowhere yesterday, just saying that Pochettino's in line and Pochettino's going to be the man taking over. You know, all the talk coming out of the club, even from Woodward and from everyone, saying that Manchester United are going to back Ollie and leave him to it for now and see where this really goes. But then Pochettino's now very much looks like he's favourite. With another report from Julian Lorenz for ESPN, I'm convinced that Pochettino will be Manchester United manager next season. I've got no doubt that either they've already been talking, or they will be talked very soon between Pochettino and Woodward and people at United. So someone saying in the comments there, same LVG Mourinho saga. I think it's looking like that's how it's going. I don't know. It's a strange one. You can doubt Ollie, you can doubt anything, but the one thing that I don't think's right is the fact that all these leaks are coming out now. That it's now going to put doubt in the minds of everyone, and the board are again kind of doing this behind Ollie's back and not just coming out and saying, if Pochettino was the long-term plan, if this is what Woodward had in his mind for a long, long time, then he should have just done it before Ollie came, not give Ollie the full-time job. He made that decision and said, look, this is what he wants to do, and this is how we're going to do things. And I think for now, things have been going not great on the pitch, but slowly but surely you're seeing, I think, the right transfers being made and things like that. Morning, Mr. Howson. I hope you get here eventually. But anyway, the right transfers are being made. But if we change again, how much does that unravel? Are the players we signed, is Wan-Bissaka someone that's going to fit into Pochettino's system, or are we going to have to sign another new right back? Is Bruno Fernandes a player that Pochettino wants in his system? Are players like McTominay or Brandon Williams, are they going to be the players? Would he have liked to keep a striker like Lukaku and leave as a number and get a number 9? Are we going to have to sign another first choice number 9? Are we again? Someone saying that we're starting all over again. This is where it seems strange. I have my doubts that Pochettino is going to do anything ridiculous, that he's going to make things unbelievable in the next straight away. But the one thing that that's going to happen is that it feels like it's going to have to start again. They might be buying Poch's targets. I don't know about that. It's a strange one. But like I said, if you're going to make this decision before you appoint Ollie. Say that Pochettino is your man. I have doubts whether Pochettino is going to come in and do things straight. I have doubts over the fact that for the three clubs he's at, he's won no trophies. That is a big thing. Everyone says that's the one thing that everyone says. Well, Klopp won titles in Germany, and that's why he's so good. And now he's going to come to Liverpool and do that. Pochettino hasn't done that anywhere. He got Tottenham to be a general top 4 side. But do you know what? If Ollie gets his squad, I think that he could potentially get them to a top 4 side. I don't know whether he's going to be the manager that wins us the league, but is Pochettino that man? This is why director of football is so important. I completely agree. Poch was sat with Ashton. Fuck's sake, they were both just there. There's a lot of that. I did see that video, and it doesn't look exactly like that. It doesn't look exactly like he was meeting him, but these guys don't just appear near each other. You know, there's definitely they don't. If they wanted to, they'd sit miles apart. There's nothing like that. So it did look a bit dodgy where them just coming out the tunnel yesterday or coming into the stands, but at the same time, you know, these people don't just appear next to each other. There is something there. People saying Ollie out and things like that. Look, I don't know. I think we need to just stick with the system. And I think changing again won't make anything. If Pochettino said, look, these were the players I would have signed anything anyway, then great. But I don't see that. I don't think Pochettino's been the one in the background pulling all the strings and doing things like that. There's someone there saying rather have Allegri. Wow, that's another huge U-turn. You know, that's again going back to a defensive way of playing. That's again sitting back and things like that. That's all the players we've gotten rid of, all the players that Ollie doesn't seem to want and we're starting to shift on, and all the technical players that we're signing. That's not Allegri's way. United need continuity. That's you bang right there. That's what we need to do. Do you think Ollie will be appointed to the director of football? No, I don't think Ollie wants to be a director of football. I don't think that's his job. I don't think he's done. You know, everyone's saying that a director of football needs to be an ex-player and things like that. That's not how it works. You look at how City have done things. You know, the guy from Barcelona, Tixi, I can't pronounce his second name, but he came in from Barcelona, and he's been building since 2012, and he's been building for a team that is going to play football and going to do that, and it was all going to peak when he got to Guardiola. You know, the signings he made that were being made under Mancini, under Pellegrini, all those signings were building towards something that would always work that style of football. That's why Pellegrini did well with that squad, and then Guardiola came in and did really well. There's people saying Ollie should work as an assistant manager to Poch. What's the point? You know, I don't see the point in that. You know, if everyone's saying he's not the coach that he can do, what's the point in having him as the assistant? You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that. Yeah, how can another change be better than giving Ollie time? I completely agree. I think that we have to just see this out, and if we make this change in the summer, which is looking like it is, it's, you know, I think it's a strange decision. We'll come back to that. Keep getting your comments in. Another quick report. There was a few reports yesterday in the Mirror about Jadon Sancho. Apparently United are battling hard to sign Jadon Sancho and believe they're in pole position ahead of Chelsea. It's a two-way fight between the two clubs. Borussia Dortmund are ready to sell if the price is right and expect a bidding war. So, you know, Jadon Sancho, I think, is going to be that number one transfer target, and there'll be talks about him all the way through up until he goes somewhere. You know, there's going to be something about him coming to United. You know, there's going to be them links until he actually decides and moves on to where he moves. He may stay where he is. You know, he's just signed a new contract at Borussia Dortmund this year. But, you know, I think Jadon Sancho is definitely something that fits our system. He's, again, that young, direct player, can fit on that right-hand side, can play on the left as well, but right-hand side is definitely someone, right winger, that would do it. It would really, really, really be a top-quality signing. I think there'll be talks about the fee, because it's going to look like it's going to be the 100 to 120 million mark, so that's going to be crazy. You know, that's going to be a big one. So, you know, there's not going to be many clubs that are going up for that. There's people mentioning Liverpool, but I don't think Liverpool are going to spend that much big money unless they lost a couple of those players that they've got at the minute. There's people saying, why would he sign for Man U? It will only be for the money. You know, why did Mane sign for Liverpool when they were in sixth spot? You know, there's very different. There's crazy transfers happen all the time. Why did Aguero sign for City when they had no other players and Mark Hughes was the manager, or when Mancini had just come in? You know, there's projects, and if you can pitch them that project, that's what could happen. You know, that's where these players, and there is going to be a bit about the money. You know, I think it's bad to say that money isn't a thing. You know, because it is. These are still their jobs, and they're still going to try and make as much money as they can. People mentioned Jack Grealish is more realistic than Sancho. I don't think the same player. I think he wants both. I think he wants a number 10 that's gonna go in there. And I think he also needs a winger. You know, So I think both of them players. See, there's people in there saying Pochettino would have attacked it. There's people then saying he has no tactical strategy. He didn't win anything with Tottenham. Crazy. It's all over the place. Last thing now, there's been a report in the Mail about Paul Pogba. Apparently, Paul Pogba is determined to play a role in United's second half of the season. Hopefully, recommencing outdoor training at Carrington within 2 weeks. He could be available for the Manchester derby on the 8th of March. I think that would be a great point to get him back in. We'd now look. I think this winter break, even though it's just a week, has been massive for this squad. Forgetting transfers, there is still football to be played this season. Having that little break, the fact that McTominay's gone back in the pitch, I don't think McTominay's going to be fit and ready for Chelsea. But, just having him back in the squad is a huge thing. And then you've got Fernandes. He's had now time to settle in with the squad. There's players like Delo have got a bit of extra training under the belt that he can feature a bit more. There's players that just need a rest. There's this Anthony Martial that's played a lot of games when he didn't have time to come back after his injury and be rested. He just played. Then, Rashford not going to be back. But then also Igalo, whilst he's not been able to go on this training camp, he's been able to come in, do a bit of fitness work, and will be able to get on the pitch this week and hopefully train with the guys whilst they're back in Manchester. Ollie came out yesterday and said he'll be in the squad. So whether he starts, I doubt it because he's not going to do that. But we'll see. This break's been really good for United, and hopefully we've got a fit and raring squad to go against Chelsea on Monday. So I'll come to the comments again, have a quick look through. How is replacing Ollie with a Poch a strange decision? Do you know what? You can doubt, people can say how good Pochetttino is. He's very, very good. You can very, very good manager. You can't doubt that because you don't get a Premier League job if you're not a good manager. But the problem is that it's this chopping and changing that's the problem. This doesn't fix things. You need to have consistency. You need to have a plan and stick to it. If this was going to be the plan, if Pochettino was the man they wanted, it should have been last summer. There was no point in giving Ollie this job if Pochettino is going to get lined up. You've now got the point where you gave Ollie this time and gave Ollie, they also sold a lot of players and didn't sign enough to replace those players and said, don't worry, it's a longer term project. And people are now using that against Ollie to say that that's why he's not doing very, he's the one that didn't do that. If they then go behind him and sign someone else, it's no good. And people saying how good Pochettino did at Spurs, do you know what? He signed a lot of very good players as well. He didn't just magically make players brilliant. He also had a lot of players to sell. People forget the fact that he had the players that had been bought in replacement for Gareth Bale to move on. So this net spend thing that people go on about and say that he did it great on a net spend. Who'd you sell at United to get that net spend right now? Pogba, De Gea? That's probably it. There's no one else there that you can say this is going to, we can sell all these players and then get loads back. You've got a lot of deadwood that you've got to get rid of. Everyone talking about Ollie's net spend at the minute and the fact that, he's got rid of Ashley Young for nothing. He had to get rid of Sancho. Sanchez is going to go for nothing. Lukaku was his only sell that brought in any money whatsoever. So that's what it is. You've not just got any players. You can't just make this up. You can't make players to get rid of. Let's forget Poch. What are Ollie's credentials? Ollie's credentials are, what was Zidane's credentials when he took over at Real Madrid? He knew the club. That was the main thing. He knew how to deal with people. He knew what everything was. He knew how things worked at the club. A lot of the time, that's it. You need better players in to be able to do it. That's all you can do. You can't magically make this better. What about the Gomez contract situation? There's nothing at the minute. There's nothing come out. He's training with the first team, but not playing with the first team. He's played a couple of under-23s games. I'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't think anything's gonna happen probably till the end of the season. Now I think they're running that down. People say Maguire and Fernandes are the highest caliber players you can attract right now, and you'll pay through the nose to get them start to think realistic. You're right. We need to sign. It's a slow process. You're right. So Zidane won Champions League to continue. Didn't depend on charity. Yeah, but he also had Cristiano Ronaldo in the squad. You know, he had that team. You know, it's not about coaching a lot of the time. Who's a better coach, Ollie or Poch? I have no idea. I've never been in the training session without either of them. I know that Ollie's won 2 titles at Norway for a team that had never won a title for a long, long time. Pochettino came into Tottenham, and he got them into the top 4 and got them to 2nd place. Harry Redknapp got them into the top 4. It wasn't that magical. You know, Tottenham was still a good team. They didn't win the title. They didn't win anything. You know, he did well, but you look now that team crumbled. You know, what happens again? What's going to happen to our team in 4 years' time? That Pochettino comes in, builds this team, we win nothing, and then he has to go because it didn't work. And, you know, Poch took a small club to Champions League final. Yeah, he didn't win it though. You know, that's it. Poch had been up against Pep and Klopp. So what? They weren't there when he first got there. He got beat by Claudio Ranieri in one season and finished 3rd. With the best team there was. Do you know what? Players very unhappy with the coach, and especially McKenna. I'm not sure about that. I think they're very good. I think we'll see how it goes. I think the one thing is that what we need players in to do that system. Right. I am going to leave it there for today. Cheers for joining us. Make sure to like, share, and do all that good stuff. We've got a My Man United with Dave Pritt coming out this afternoon. Loads of good stuff coming up. And we're back to the normal match day schedule as of next week. See you next time.